Howdy all Moglax Lives. I think it's time to play a little Minecraft. Alright, I'm gonna hide out in here with this guy. I'm gonna get the coordinates written down. Nope. Nope. There you go. Can never remember. So we're at 144, negative 2749. Alright. And I'm going to delete. No. I just put down 10444. That's not right. So 1044 divided by 8 is about 130. And 2749 divided by 8 is negative 344. Okay. Where's... Listen, whoever's pushing me. Okay. Alright, so here's the thing. I've got this map here. So, bottom left. Then... So I need to go that way to get home. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Come on. Get the hill. Let's see. What's been going on? Man, it's crazy rainstorm happening all across the country at the moment. I don't know if it's a lot of rain, but it is like the slowest moving rainstorm I think I've ever seen, and it runs all the way across. And it's supposed to be hitting here, and they said it'd be like 1.5 inches of rain today, which is a good chunk. And I don't think we got any. I feel like their storm didn't do what they thought it was going to do. And it's just crazy to me how badly off weather forecasts are now. Like there was a time that I remember where I could look at the forecast for 10 days and know what it was going to be like for the next 5 or 6 days. And in fact, I read an article here not too long ago, last year I think, probably at this point, about how accurate forecasts are now, and that they can easily predict with 93% accuracy the weather out to 10 days. And you know what? Before I read that article, I already knew that that wasn't true anymore. And they can't predict what the weather's going to be tomorrow anymore. It just does not happen, which is crazy to me. Alright, let's go this way. I know it doesn't seem like such a big deal, but you know, when you work every day almost, and then you need to also do yard work, it's hard to plan in advance when you don't know what the weather's going to be like, because it said it was going to rain all week, and then it didn't rain basically at all this week. In fact, it was sunny on days when we were supposed to have severe thunderstorms, and so I mowed a lot on Tuesday that I didn't have to because the weather report said it was going to be super rainy and whatnot. And Do I have my sound turned off? I don't. I don't play with a lot of sound. Um, hey, look, there's a witch's hut. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Isn't that where you get your, I guess I already have one, but isn't that where you go to... I might be confusing it with modded Minecraft, actually. Yeah. I know brewing is different now, right? You can't make a brew stand. You have to find one, and you have to power it with blaze powder or blaze rods, which is different than it used to be. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. It's just weird to me. But this storm, man, this storm is crazy. It's like I've been watching it for a couple of days on the weather radar, and it's just sitting right where it was at, barely moving. Took it a day and a half to push into Michigan, where I'm at, um, which is crazy. Oh, we are not on this map. Oh, we are next to this map, though. Uh, yeah, they. I didn't want to watch it, but I know. So yesterday, my niece comes down, right, and she decides she wants to play my boxing VR game. She says, and I'm like, it's not the one you think it is. You're not gonna like it. And she's like, yeah, I will. I know exactly which one it is. I've played it before. Because she lies about everything. I'm like, oh, you played it before, huh? Yeah, sometimes when you're asleep, I come down here and use your VR while you're asleep. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think you do, because you don't even know how to start it. So, it seems a little suspicious. Um, and So she starts playing it, right? Only I didn't buy a VR boxing game. I bought a VR exercise program that utilizes boxing. Because there is a boxing game in the VR that the kids wanted me to get. Um, but one of the one of my friends said that they were using this and they liked it, and so I thought I'd get it and try it out. It is quite the workout. I don't know. I don't mind the punching with my dominant arm or the ducking and dodging, but the punching with my non-dominant arm is something else. It it does not take long before I get to the point where I can't punch anymore with that arm, and it's like I don't know if you set up what handed you are, but it is definitely a I think did I just no. Okay. It is definitely like um, mostly using my non-dominant arm, which is my left arm. But it just kills the muscles in my shoulder. Like not like your back of your shoulder or the top of your shoulder, but like right in the shoulder itself. It's just like, oh, I can't even barely raise my arm anymore. I don't get it because I do lots of things, but whatever it is, that punching motion is not one that I do apparently. And so it's like I've got no muscle for that particular motion, and whew. Anyways, so she's playing it right, and she's like, where are the settings for the game? I'm like, no, that's it. And she's like, well, maybe I'll choose something different. I'm like, well, they're all the same. That's it. It's just shadow boxing. The whole program is just punching little orbs of light that come at you. It's kind of like Beat Saber, but with boxing, and so she picks a different one because she knows. She's like, you don't know. This one here, this is what I was looking for, and so then she starts doing it, and it goes on for like 11 minutes of her pretending that she's enjoying herself. And when that got over, she's like, I have to take a break because I'm getting all sweaty. And then she never came back. Um, okay, so I need to go. I need to go this way and this way. So we can use the same tunnel. Wait. Nope. We definitely shouldn't use the same tunnel. We definitely shouldn't use the same tunnel. Uh, I will have to apparently tear down this tunnel. Because now I need... It's a long way this way. uh, so... Somebody's been down through here. It was me. Uh, but yeah, Anyways, so instead of doing what she was supposed to, that's what she did, and then her father comes down and he's like, "What is she doing?" I'm like, "Oh, she's doing the boxing program. She thinks it's the other one." And oh, dang it! I thought that would stop. And because there's one where you like fight an octopus or something, and so that's the one that they wanted. But that's not the one I got because I wasn't getting it for a game. Because I don't want a boxing game. Like, boxing games are fun and all, sure, but that wasn't my intent with getting said boxing program. My intent was to get a more intense than Beat Saber workout that was still enjoyable like Beat Saber, even if I can barely move my arm after doing it for just a short period of time. Eventually it should get better, right? And so apparently she was supposed to come down and ask me about the new Trolls movie and if it was available for us to watch. And I've never seen the Trolls movie, and I've kind of stopped watching shows like that. Like, I don't think I've ever watched something like the Trolls movie, but I did used to watch like the Pixar movies and stuff, and to be honest, I kind of stopped doing that. I haven't seen Onward, um, and I wish I hadn't seen Frozen 2. Although to be fair, I wasn't a big fan of Frozen 1. Um, and uh, but the family, they're like, oh, we should watch a movie together. And I'm like, all right, can't watch what I want to watch, but okay. Uh, that's not true. Sometimes we do. Not very often, though. Uh, and So my sister said that she had heard that people had rented it for like $3 or something. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I get online. It's $20. It's $20 to rent that thing. Not keep, rent. $20 to rent. Like, I get it was supposed to be in the theater, but shouldn't $20 just be to own at this point? That's how much it costs to own a movie. I've been watching the Doctor Who series again, and oh, my pick just broke. Dang it. I've been watching the Doctor Who series, and I had watched part. Okay, I used to be an avid Doctor Who watcher, but over the years, mainly I think what has happened is this. Uh, my job for a long time was an instructor at a college. And so, due to the nature of my classes, I did not find myself with a lot of work outside of class or the day of class. And for most of my career as an instructor, I did not teach a class every day. The college I taught at, we either did 2 hour classes twice a week, or we did 4 hour classes once a week. And so most of the time I would teach 3 4 hour classes. So that meant we only met 3 days a week, and then I'd need like a day to work on all the stuff, grading papers and preparing lessons and stuff like that. And so it wasn't overtaxing of a week, and I didn't record videos. I mean, I did eventually, but I didn't when I started. And so I used to watch a lot of TV. And then somewhere in there, I started watching YouTube videos. And then while watching the YouTube videos, I thought, huh, I could do that. Seems interesting to me. And so I started. And so then that started eating up more time, so I had less time to watch TV. And and then I might have to make two. I desperately need a Silk Touch pickaxe, to be honest. I've only got 15 levels of XP though. We'll have to go down and hit my oh, you know what? I don't need these maps at the moment. We'll go down and hit my kill area for a second here, just to see if we can't get a little boost of XP before we head over. And so, still had time to watch TV, but it got less. Well, then they phased out my job. They didn't really phase out my job. That's another story. I'll maybe tell that one too here. But basically, I had to get a new job, and when I got a new job, I work every day, Monday through Friday, pretty much. And so And it takes me all day. So I barely have time to watch television. So I haven't been able to keep up with Doctor Who. So, anyways, I started watching Doctor Who. It's only like $20 a season for that, um, which is a far cry from $20 to rent uh, one movie for 30 days. You have to view it. Um, yeah, so story about my job was crazy, just crazy. So we we shoot, we had let's see if maybe I had a Silk Touch book. I do. Okay, so let's go ahead and prod these guys up, and then I can add Silk Touch to one of them. Anyways, uh, and so we were doing pretty good. Um, I felt, and they had opened a lot of they'd opened a lot of new class types. Although they did shut down some class types that I felt was weird that they were. That's not what I wanted to do. Dang it! I put the Silk Touch on the wrong one. Can I do this? I certainly can. Not what I want to do, but now I need just a regular pickaxe. Um, and so things were going along pretty good. Um, Although we were having a lot of problems with our administrator, and because we were what's called a satellite campus, so we weren't the main campus. We were an offshoot in a small town kind of thing, and so um, then they started a program where I was teaching dual enrollment classes, and so I would drive out to the high school, well, the tech center, and I would teach every day at the tech center. So that was, I was like, okay, well, I mean, I'm teaching every day, so that's a good thing, right? Because I mean, you want to work, and even if it is a long drive, but hey, you know what? It's work, so that's what you do. And um, so then, so then somewhere in there, our administrator, oh yeah, I should have got some more food. Our administrator got in trouble, and and so um, they, well, I think the main campus was having some trouble, and so they were restructuring the entire school system. And so they decided to remove our problem administrator, and so when they did that, they thought they could get away without having anyone on our campus, and they thought they could run it from the main campus. And so what that turned into was, oh dang it, I don't have any andesite on me either. This would be better if I had andesite. And so what ended up happening was we got people from the main campus running, well, sort of running. And so I got, for my department, an idiot. And I don't know if he's an idiot in real life. I never met him. He was supposed to meet me twice, and he never showed up either time. I was the only one. Um, And so, I mean, like, I get out of bed, I get dressed up for work on a day that I didn't have to work, and I go to the school campus and I sit in the office area in the waiting room, waiting and waiting and waiting. And I had told them what I was there for, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally, um, the uh, the secretary, which was a student, wrote me in the appointment book, um, and I've got so far to go. I was like, ooh, how close am I? Not at all. And wrote me in the appointment book, and uh, and I'm waiting, and one of the other people's there, and then while we're waiting, one of the other IT instructors comes out of the back of the office, and she was like, "What are you guys doing here?" And we're like, "Well, we're supposed to have that meeting with the IT dean." And she's like, "Oh, didn't anybody tell you?" I'm like, "No. Yeah, he never showed up. He didn't send a word or anything. He just never showed up." And they're like, "Nope. I've been here for 2.5 hours now waiting on him." And then the other time I was supposed to meet him, he wanted to meet at the time while I was in class, and I was like, "I can't meet you then. I could meet you after lunch, maybe." And he's like, "Hey, yeah, that'll be good." And I'm like, "Okay." And so then I showed up again, and he never showed up again. They're like, "Oh yeah, we never heard anything about him being up here today." I'm like, so I never met him in person. And every time you talk to him, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, let me look into that. Oh yeah, 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 let me look into that." And so the uh, the program, the dual enrollment program, got shut down, and so then uh, the problem is that's a different story altogether. So then some of the students on the main campus, because then I was teaching classes on the main campus again, uh, they they decided, not the students but the college. One of the things that was kind of unique, I guess, to our college was that we didn't do semesters, we did terms. And so in the time of 2 semesters, we would do 3 semesters worth of work. And I like that because it lets you get more done. And it was the same textbooks, the same amount of credits, everything. It's just that you would get done faster. And so, same amount of hours as a semester-based college. And so, but they had problems transferring credits from semester-based colleges to and from our term-based college, because even though we used the same exact textbooks and we covered the same amount of hours, they said, "Well, you went to school for fewer days." Nobody counts the days of, it's how many hours you spent, because our classes were 4 hours long. Uh, uh, and so anyways, so some of my students were like, "Hey, we see your name's not down on any of the classes for next term." And this was about week 4 in the term. And so they were already signed up students. I'm like, I don't know. So I emailed the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know why my name is down as the teacher for those classes, because I haven't decided yet who's teaching what." And I'm like, "Well, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one here who teaches these classes, so should I just plan on teaching those classes? We'll see." And so then a couple weeks later, I'm like, "So I haven't heard anything yet." He's like, "Well, I haven't made any decisions yet, so we'll see." And so then I started looking for a new job, and then I got the job I have now. Um, and then I just never heard from them again. And then because of the change from look at that blue down there. Because of the change from term to semester, they ended up with students who were signed up to do terms, and it was a totally different like hours of the day and everything to run it as semester, and so they decided this is what we were told. The head of the college said, we're going to freeze enrollment on your campus for 1 year, and so that we can get students through their term-based curriculum or degrees, and then we'll reopen everything back up to semester. And I'm like, whatever. Um, and so then that's what I was doing, and then I had one set of classes left. And then they were supposed to reopen back to with semester-based classes that fall, and then they're like, that guy was like, yeah, we'll see on the final classes that were term-based. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna have to look for a new job. This was December when this goes down, and so the next set of classes would have been classes through what? Don't use that pick. That pick is for something else. That have been classes through June. Would have been the next round of classes, right? No, that would have been classes through April. And I figured if I was careful with my money, I could skip the classes till June and pick back up in the fall. Well, then they said, well, we're going to, I never heard back from that guy about teaching classes at all. And so I'm like, well, I guess I don't have any time. And so I got the job I have now. And then before it got to fall, after telling all the instructors that we'd be starting back with the regular classroom rotation in the fall and not to jump the gun on anything, then partway through the summer, they're like, oh, well, it looks like it's going to take us at least another year of classes at the reduced student body before we can reopen. But don't worry, we are going to reopen. And then in the newspaper, there's an article, not in the newspaper where our college is at, but a newspaper in a different county. There was an article about how the enrollment at the college had dropped and how they couldn't sustain the college. We're the only college in the area. The enrollment only dropped because they stopped accepting students the previous year because they said they wanted to get through the term-based students before they switched everything over to semester because they couldn't handle the scheduling of term-based students and semester-based students because the number of classroom hours is different, so they would need to schedule a lot of different classrooms differently. And so she didn't tell anybody. I was never told. I never heard from them again, basically, after that guy said he had to think about it. And And so yeah, so then they just shut down our campus after telling the newspaper that it's because enrollment was down. But the truth was that they stopped enrolling new students. I, of course, your enrollment's going to be down if you stop enrolling new students. Um, but yeah, that was my previous job. Uh, anyways, with that, click like if you like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one. And I will talk to you later.